What's going on, family? You live in the studio with Avery Yashua, man. We got a banger here, man. Matter of fact, we got a lineup for you today, man. But this one right here, we're going to start out. Is it worth crashing out over some mayo, man? Two men lost their lives pretty much over mayo. So let's get right into it.
Deadly shooting at a Checkers restaurant in Kissimmee.
A worker allegedly shot a customer after he complained about his food order. Fox 35's Stephanie Buffamonte explains how a condiment may have led to gunfire.
The new shocking details were released today. According to a witness, this potentially could have been all over a packet of mayo. Now, one person is dead and another person is behind bars. And you can see this happen in a busy area in Old Town, which is right near Fun Spot.
The defendant will be held pursuant to Arthur at no bond.
23-year-old Elijah Mackey in an orange jumpsuit and cuffs, making a first appearance in court Friday. He's charged with first-degree premeditated murder. Osceola County deputies say it was all over a fast food customer complaining about his meal. A witness said he was possibly asking for mayo packets. The arrest affidavit says Wesley Robertson asked to speak with the manager several times after ordering from the front window at Checkers Wednesday night. Deputies say that's when Mackey climbed out of a drive-through window, walked around the side of the building, and started arguing with Robertson. According to an arrest report, that's when Robertson used derogatory language to insult Mackey, and in response, Mackey pulled a gun out of his waistband and shot Robertson in the chest. He fell headfirst into the building. The employee ran toward the slingshot ride and then to Celebration Suites nearby. We spoke with people staying there.
Can you imagine? You're just like, oh, let's go to Checkers. I want, a hamburger meal or whatever it is. And next thing you know, you're gone. Yeah. I mean, how does that happen? It's sad. It's really sad.
You don't know if you can ever voice your opinion, because somebody's going to pull a gun.
Former Orlando Police Chief Orlando Rolone says he most likely wasn't supposed to have a gun on him at work to begin with.
I can't imagine, especially a fast food chain, that would promote or allow for an employee to be armed with a firearm.
He says it's important to talk to your kids about controlling their emotions and lead by example.
It takes a much bigger person to basically step away from a situation like that. Be that person.
The Checkers was closed yesterday, but it is open today. We reached out to Checkers to ask for a comment and ask for its policy on weapons in the workplace, but haven't heard back. Reporting in Kissimmee, Stephanie Buffamonte, Fox 35 News.
All right, let's get into it, man. Unfortunately, two men lost their life over possibly or allegedly some mayo. Let's say that. Now, it comes down to controlling your emotions, man. Everybody's on 10 right now. Everybody's on high alert. You know what I mean? People is snapping. People taking lives. People just getting in an argument, throwing fists. Just doing all kind of stuff, bro. I don't know if it's the economy. I don't know if it's the enemy just running rapid around here and got people just out of their mind. But let me say this. The gentleman went through, and I know some people, a black man shot a white man. I know some people would like to get into that and go down that road. I'm looking at two men. I don't care if they was green or yellow. Two men who's not here anymore because they lost or couldn't control their emotions. Let me say that. But man, he probably went through Checkers to get him a burger. Yes, he wanted possibly some extra mayo. My white counterparts, y'all love y'all mayo. Let me say that. But my brothers, we love our hot sauce. So, hey, I ain't even mad at y'all. Y'all want extra mayo? We want extra hot sauce. So let's get into it. But my thing is, I don't know what transpired. But my man came through the window, hot-headed. He was hot-headed, couldn't control his emotions. My man wanted to speak to a manager, should have got the manager there. But we are talking about Checkers, man. We talking about some of the, what I always tell y'all, low income, uncontrollable emotion people. Let me say that. And I know people probably like, man, you wrong on that. But my thing is, if you had a better circumstance, a better situation, you wouldn't probably be working at Checkers. I'm just saying that. And I can't speak for my man as far as eating at Checkers. I hadn't ate at Checkers in probably 30 years. I just don't find the food good no more. Not back when I was younger, didn't have much money, yeah. But now it's like, my taste buds didn't change. It's about like wine, you know what I mean? When you ain't have much money, you drunk the cheap stuff, the Andre Cole Ducks and all this other stuff. You know what I mean? Even Mad Dog 22 and them old school. So we had that back in the day. I can't drink that stuff now. But my thing is, so he asked for mayo, probably words was exchanged. My man pulled around the front, got out of his car, probably was waiting on the manager. Probably the manager wasn't never going to show up. Let me say that. Or if he did, he probably was going to side with the worker or appease the customer and say, hey, we'll give you mayo or whatever. And then whatever transpired, the words probably was back and forth between them two. My man in the window, the employee got out the window, crawled out the window. Evidently had a gun in his waistband. I'm sure Checkers or no employer allow firearms on the workforce unless you're a police officer, military, or security or something like that. So then he got out the window. They had some words back and forth again. Unfortunately or allegedly, they said my man used a derogatory word, whatever that was, I don't know. But I'm going to say this. I don't care what type of word it was. He didn't deserve to lose his life over the word or mayo. We got to be bigger than that. We got to be better than that. He lost his life in the physical. Well, both of them lost their life in the physical because one is never going to come back from the grave. And the other one probably finna get life in prison. You know what I mean? Over mayo in a derogatory word. I know a lot of my young brothers out here. They was raised in single family households, and I'm probably going down a tangent. And a lot of these young guys didn't see a man. I'm always going to go back to a man because men, I'm seeing a lot of young men is super emotional right now, especially this generation. And you usually pick that up from your mom, the emotional side. And what you're going to end up doing is passing that emotion down to your son if somebody don't step in. And we get hot-headed so fast to where we ready to blow our whole life up. We ready to throw our whole life. This young kid is 23 years old. He just threw his whole life away. He's never getting out of prison. You're never finna touch a woman again. You never finna have that feeling of marrying a woman or whatever. That's gone. My other man that's in the grave now, I don't know if he had a family or not. I don't really say. He ain't never coming back. So 2 families destroyed over Checkers and some mayo. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself, was it really worth it, man? And I tell people is, like I say, crashing out right now. I'm seeing people crashing out in the road rage incidents, man. And sometimes I even get upset when people cut me off or whatever. But man, I have to calm down and realize, hey, you don't know what that other person going through in that car. And you don't know what they done been through that day. And them cats can take every ounce of anger or disappointment or whatever they might have went through and take that shit out on you. And you could end up losing your life, or you could end up taking their life in self-defense or whatever. And now you're in this situation. So I'm at a point in my life where I'm trying to really work on things because I'm seeing too many people is crashing out, man, over just the simple stuff. Went through Checkers, wanted the hamburger, allegedly wanted extra mayo, end up losing his life. The other guy then got arrested, then he ain't gonna get no bond because you could tell he went over to the celebration suites or whatever. After he shot this dude, he knew exactly what he had done. He took off and went to running. it's too late. I always tell these young guys, win that round, leave that gun. It's too late. You can't tell that round where it's going or what damage it's going to do at that particular point. So at that point, why run? You finna get caught. You gonna get caught because they're gonna tell you, they're going to checkers and they're gonna ask who it is and they're gonna snitch on you or tell on you, which they should, because you was a fool, you was an idiot. So you get what you get at that particular point. But in this case, man, 2 men lost his life, and it is what it is. Sorry for both families. You know what I mean? Nobody win in this particular situation. Nobody. So with that said, man, I'm A.B. Yasharel. The link of this video will be in the description block. I ask that y'all like, share, subscribe to the channel, man. We greatly appreciate all y'all do. With that said, A.B. Yasharel. Shalom.